Welcome to the Urban Pitch Podcast, the beautiful game of life. Today we have Janelly Farias. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah, you should feel very, very, very special and important because this is first of all, we took a long layoff, right? Because we were doing all kinds of crazy stuff. But this is the first podcast that we're doing at our new facility. So yeah, very special.
Oh, thank you. I'm honored. I didn't know that.
Yeah. I want to talk a little bit about your background, right?
Okay.
You're a pro soccer player.
Mm-hmm.
Where'd you grow up, and how did you get into the sport and all that?
Well, I mean, long story short, I grew up in Orange County in Santa Ana, and I
shout out to all the OC girls out there.
Yes.
Right? I'm OC too, so right.
Yeah, I grew up playing in Santa Ana, and I remember when I don't have very many images of memories of me growing up, except for when I was about 3 or 4 years old. I remember tugging on my dad's pants and telling him to put me in, and my two older brothers were playing, and he was like, no, and they kept telling me, like, soccer's for boys, it's not for girls. And I remember
this is your dad?
My dad, yeah.
He sounds like one of those macho Mexican
very
traditional.
Macho Mexican traditional man, yeah.
Okay.
But I insisted that my dad put me in, and he finally decided. I was crying, and so he decided to put me in, and he puts me in, and I didn't even have a uniform on. And I went on the field, and then he tried to pull me out, and I didn't let him take me off. I was crying. I said, I'm not coming off this field. So that's when I started. That's when and it's so cool to have that memory, because to me, that's when it all began, me being persistent and like not, they would tell me it's not for girls, and I didn't care.
That's awesome. Well, how old were you when this
I was like 3 or 4 years old.
3 or 4,
yeah.
Okay. So just this random little girl going onto the field, playing with her older brothers, no uniform, right?
That's right.
Probably sandals or whatever.
Yeah, I don't even remember what I was wearing, but.
Okay. That's awesome. So then you have 2 older brothers?
Yeah, I have 2 older brothers.
Okay. And
2 older brothers, 2 younger brothers.
Okay, so you're right in the middle of 4 brothers.
That's right.
Okay, wow. So then, and out of all your brothers, how many of them played growing up?
They all played growing up.
Okay. It's like a family requirement, Farias family requirement?
Yeah, Farias family requirement. My dad coached us all. He
he
played
did?
too. He
Okay.
played in some of the like reserve divisions in Mexico, and he always pushed my brothers to play. And then when I started playing, and he saw that not only was I passionate, I was able to play, he started pushing me to play too. So they all played. None of them really stuck to it like I did.
Okay.
I think they were always passionate about the sport, but not really willing to make that commitment.
Okay.
Because it takes a lot of sacrifice.
Yeah, for sure. Especially the kind of commitment that's required to make it to Selección México, right?
Good.
So what's the current status right now with that then? So you're on the Mexican national team?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So right now I'm on the Mexican national soccer team.
Okay.
Current status is we just had a match against Sweden in July. I didn't play in it. I got injured about a week before that.
Okay.
So I'm a few weeks out from recovering from a back injury.
Okay. And Sweden's a strong team.
Yeah, Sweden, defending Olympic champions.
Yeah, they're really tough.
Yeah, so my team pulled off it was a 1-0 loss, which is a really good result for us.
Okay, and how long have you been on the Mexican national team?
I first got on that team when I was like 15 and a half.
Okay.
They saw me play when I was about 13 in Santa Ana. They had open tryouts.
Okay.
They saw me play when I was 13, and they told my dad, like, we want her to come to Mexico, and my dad he was really skeptical about it. So I didn't end up going to Mexico when I was 13, and they saw me play again when I was about 15, and I said, Dad, like, I really want to play there, and he was like, okay, let's do it. So since I was 15 and a half.
You've been in like the junior team in some form or another, right? And making the team, like, so what is that, the U18?
I was with at 16 years old, I was with the U20s. And then I had my first cap with the full team at 17 years old.
Oh, wow. Okay. And so is that like a common story with like the female players that make the Mexican national team? Because I know they kind of recruit, right? And they're looking and they're scouting, right? So how does that even work? So they go to like Santa Ana, and then they say you have to be like a Mexican. Is this ancestry or citizenship? How does that work?
You have to have a Mexican citizenship.
Okay.
You could be born here, but your parents have to be born in Mexico.
Okay.
So you can be a naturalized Mexican citizen.
Right.
So that's how I am able to play on there.
Okay.
And they're always looking. There's Mexican players all over the United States,
right.
not just in Mexico.
Okay.
Every now and then they have open tryouts for younger ages, but I mean, it can happen. I can come here and I can see somebody play, and I can be like, hey, I saw this girl play,
Right.
at the base in LA, and I think she can play at this level.
Okay.
So it could be something as simple as that.
Wow. Okay. And so is there some kind of, so like, were you born in the U.S. or were you born in Mexico?
I was born in Santa Ana.
Okay, so you're born in Santa Ana. So is there kind of so first of all, how's your Spanish? Like,
It's fluent. I'm fluent in
you're
Spanish.
fluent. Okay, so then the way you pronounce Santa Ana, I thought you couldn't speak Spanish at all.
Really?
You know? Yeah.
Santana.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you're fluent in Spanish, and is there a little bit of a culture clash for you, like playing for the Mexican team then? Because the fact that you're born and raised in America, right?
Yeah.
What's the makeup of the team?
I'd say maybe about half of us are born here in the U.S. But I wouldn't say there's a culture clash.
Okay.
They're my teammates and all of the coaching staff are very open to us, because even though we were born here, we directly identify with the Mexican culture. Like I will tell you that I'm Mexican before I'm
Really?
American any day.
But you have dual citizenship?
I have dual citizenship.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you have dual citizenship. So when the U.S. plays against Mexico, right? And then you have the Mexican flag then, huh?
Oh yeah,
Oh, my
always,
God.
always.
So how do we, like, I'm not gonna lie, like, when Korea plays U.S., I have the Korean flag too. So I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna front. But so how do you think, like, in America, right? Like they're trying to grow, like in the U.S., we're trying to grow soccer, right? How do you think, like, there will be a point where we can ever overcome that, where they'll do either both and they'll support both? Like when U.S. plays against like Mexico, for example, because there's a huge Spanish population and Mexican population in Southern California. But anytime like Mexico plays or Cholos, but you know what I mean? It's like completely like 90-10 or 80-20. How do you think that they'll ever the U.S. will be able to overcome that? Or no?
I don't know. That's a difficult question to answer. I think for Mexicans at least, we pride ourselves so much in soccer, and it's like it is everything to us. And I think so
then that 2-0 must kill you, right?
Yes.
Right?
It's just
every time, because that's all like the U.S. Fans, right? They do that all the time. They scream that, right? 2-0, right?
I think it comes down to, I don't want to speak politics, but like it is tied to that. And I think the Mexican culture just feels like soccer is ours, and it can never be taken from us. And I think that's why there's so much passion that whenever Mexico plays the U.S., that Mexico fans are just, whether we're born here or not, it's just die hard passionate about it.
Okay.
Like, because it's something that I think we truly believe it can never be taken from us.
Okay. All right. So then switching gears back to the Mexican national team, because I think a lot of people would be curious, about like the process and all that. So then like half the team are, from Mexico, and half the team are kind of born here. So then all the girls, get along. There is a little bit of kind of division between like some of the girls, or like at least hanging out and that kind of thing. How does that work?
I think everybody gets along. I think we're all there for one purpose, and it's to represent Mexico. And I think as long as we're all on the same page about that, there's really, really, really good team chemistry, actually.
How competitive is it then between like the teammates and players that are on the cusp and trying to make the team, and players, because it's always a battle, right? Even if you're on the team, like currently right now, there's, how many other hundreds of girls that would love to take your spot, right? How competitive is it?
It was funny. I was just telling my friend that it's extremely competitive.
Really?
But it's, I think it's positive competition.
Okay.
I think it's, obviously we're all dying to be a starter on the field, but we're also all encouraging of each other. And, if for whatever reason I don't start, I'm going to tell whoever's starting over me, hey, like, I want you to do the best. And so it is very, very competitive, and I think that's what makes us better, and that's what's made us better over the years, that there's so much competition within the team, but it's healthy competition.
Right. So then you've been on the team since you were 15, basically, and you're what, 27 now?
27, yeah.
Okay. And 27, that's kind of like, you're like a veterana on the team, right?
Yeah.
You're one of the older gals, and like what's like probably like the maximum that like a girl will play on or a national team? Like 30 maybe, right?
Yeah, I think for female soccer players, 30 is probably like
the max.
The max.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm a coach. My coach would say I'm the abuelita on the team.
Okay. The grandmother.
The grandma. Yeah, I'm one of the older ones.
Okay.
So it's, knowing that I am older, it does put more pressure on me to be able to perform whenever I get the opportunity. But on the positive side, I also have, a little bit more experience than the younger girls, so that that helps me a lot. It gives me more confidence.
Yeah, I always think like, you can't, it's not all about just like youth and strength and all that, right? Because there's a lot of knowledge and experience that comes in, right? All of the successful teams across any sport, whether it's like basketball, soccer, whatever, like the championship teams, the average age is like a lot older than than you would imagine, right? So then, okay, so how many months out of the year are you, is your commitment, and then what do you do when you're not, on the national team?
So my commitment, I mean, I'm an athlete 24/7. So I live my life like an elite athlete, whether I'm in camp or not. I think that's what keeps me at the top level for when I am in camp. And right now, unfortunately, because we didn't qualify to the Olympics, we don't have as many camps as we normally have. So right now, I'd say, based on the action we've had this past year, I mean, we've probably been together as a team, difficult, maybe at most 5 weeks in the entire year.
Out of the year, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so then do you have another club that you play for that's not, when you're not playing for?
Yeah, I play for, this season I played for the San Diego Sea Lions in the WPSL.
Okay.
And it's the second division here in the U.S.
Sure.
And it's awesome. It's helped me, when I've been coming back from injuries, or it helps me really stay in top shape. And I play center mid there, so it helps me stay in game rhythm.
Okay, so then you play center mid for both teams?
I play center mid for San Diego Sea Lions, and I play center back for the Mexican national team.
Okay, so a little bit more. So is it like when you say center back, are you like straight up defense, like like a defender, or is it a little bit more of like a defensive mid?
Center back. I'm a defender.
Okay.
So I play. Pretty much, I'm playing right in front of the goalkeeper.
Yeah, that's like a huge transition. You know what I mean? Like, have you played center back?
Yeah, I played.
Okay.
I played.
So you can go back and forth between the two.
Yeah, I can go back and forth.
Yeah,
too,
and I already know the answer, but which position do you like better?
Center mid.
Yeah, I know, exactly right. Yeah, center back is a lot of responsibility, and it's so important, but you don't get like glory really, right?
Yeah.
It's not as fun necessarily,
exactly.
right? Yeah,
you have to be like willing to
sacrifice for the team. You got to be like the Rock, right? And like the taking all the sacrificial plays and all that, right? But you don't get like the creative glory type plays, right?
Yeah, and you have to accept that, like when your team wins, you're not going to be given much credit.
Yeah,
and when
you're
you get scored on,
you're not the one that's doing this with the holding the trophy on the picture, right?
When you get scored on, they're going to be like, oh, who was the person to make the mistake? Probably you. So it's, but I mean, I'm willing to take that responsibility. If they trust me with it, I'm willing to take it.
Are you a fan of like the men's game?
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
Okay. What do you think about the whole Neymar situation right now?
Are
you a Neymar fan, first of all?
I think it's ridiculous that they're paying so much money for him. And I mean, soccer's a business. I'm a fan of soccer. I'm a fan of quality soccer. So
So come out on Thursdays and watch me play, all right? Why are you laughing? I was being serious.
All right. You're going to want me on your team, though.
Yeah, for
Otherwise,
sure.
I'm going to beg you. So.
Okay. Yeah, I know. That's like the key, Like, I don't care if, like, I get scored on, but, like, certain guys, like,
you don't want to get
you don't want to get backed, Yeah, you don't want to end up on someone's Instagram highlight, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a huge money transfer that's going on with Neymar, right? What do you think about, like, the fans? Like, of course, anytime something like that happens, I don't know if they're diehard fans, but there was like burning of jerseys and all that. Did you see that on social media?
I didn't.
Yeah, there's like people like burning his jerseys and like really upset and angry and all that. Like, what do you think about a professional, making that, because he was on Barcelona, now supposedly a transfer to PSG, and he was on a successful team, but now he wants to kind of probably break out of that under the shadow of Messi, probably. I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
I think if he feels it's the right decision for his career, he's making the right decision. I don't think, I think fans that are burning jerseys are not real fans. If they really support him, they're going to follow him wherever he goes. Yeah. So, I mean, he's probably making the right decision for his career. And people probably think like, oh, it's because of it's so much money that he's going to make. I don't think it's because of that. I think it might be like you said, he wants to make a bigger name for himself. And if that's what he needs to do, if it means changing teams, then be good for him.
Okay, so then since you're an LA or OC gal, right? And are you team LA Galaxy or are you team LAFC on camera?
Neither actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what are you? What does that mean? Are you bipartisan? You're ambivalent? You don't care? Like
not that I don't care.
You're neutral.
I guess I'm neutral, but
because you're okay with opportunities from either side. You don't want
to. I would root for I would say Galaxy just because the Los Santos are playing there now.
Okay.
So,
yeah.
And I'm a fan of Giovanni Dos Santos, is one of my favorite players. So
Yeah, he's awesome.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So then, obviously, because he plays for the Mexican national team, right? And then when they're playing, you're definitely rooting for the Mexican national team as well, right? Okay, interesting. All right. So then let's go back to a little bit. We talked about your childhood, right? So you grew up in Santa Ana, and then you played for UC Irvine.
UC Irvine, yeah.
Okay. Zot, right?
Zot, yeah.
Okay.
Zot.
So how was that college experience?
An awesome experience. I think it was probably one of the best decisions of my life. I was able to play at play on a quality team and be close to home and be with my family, which was awesome. The staff at UC Irvine was so supportive with just everything in my life.
Yeah.
So I think playing there made me a better person.
Okay.
Overall.
What level was UCI when you were there?
One.
Okay.
Division 1.
And
when
like
I was
in terms of like the team.
standings,
Yeah.
When I was there.
Yeah. Are there any other teammates like at that caliber?
Yes,
There
actually,
were? Okay.
yeah. When I was there, we were actually ranked. We were like a top 25 team in the nation. And currently, they have one of my teammates from the Mexican national team plays there now, Kiana Palacios.
Okay.
She actually got recruited for Mexico maybe like a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, because of UC Irvine.
Okay.
So playing there has opened up opportunities for other players too, which is awesome.
Okay. And then are you like, I noticed like you're either coaching there or you were coaching there. What's that affiliation?
Yeah, I was coaching there. So I took a little break from soccer about 5 years ago.
It's a 24/7 job. There's no breaks allowed.
Yeah. Well, I went through this, big injury, ACL reconstruction, and
that's huge.
Personal problems. So I took a little break from it because I needed to focus on my health and well-being. And then when I got back to it, I decided to reach out to UC Irvine, and they were like, "Yeah, come on as a coach, and you can play here again, and you can get fit." And that's what I did. So I was coaching, and at the same time, I would train with the team, which was awesome. So it made me a better coach, and it helped me get back in shape and playing mode for the national team.
That's awesome. So do you ever get to like play pickup like in LA area or just for fun or you know what I mean?
Yeah,
just to stay in shape? You do? What, like in Santa Ana or?
I play in pickup usually in Costa Mesa.
Costa Mesa, okay. So this is like outdoor 11s or?
No, it's indoor.
Okay.
I play a lot of indoor soccer.
So you do play like 5v5?
5v5, 4v4,
okay.
yeah.
And then when you're playing out there, like, do people know you because you're a frequent guest at that place? So the guys know you, or do or are there like the younger version too of your dad, like the macho Mexican dudes are like, come on, girl, and then like
no, they know me. Yeah,
they know you.
Yeah,
all right, so they're trying to pick you on the team and all that.
Yeah, they try to pick me on the team, or sometimes they don't even go defend me because they don't want to get embarrassed. It sucks because I want them to defend me because if they don't, I can't.
Yeah.
I
so you have small ball skills?
Yeah.
You do? Like futsal and you have ground moves and all that? Okay. You're not worried about like pressure and tight situations?
I think that's when I do the best.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. All right. So then you do play pickup and whatnot. So then do you enjoy playing like against guys in that kind of situation, or do you like playing against high level girls?
Absolutely love playing against guys.
Okay. So you like playing against guys?
Yeah. I think they, like when I first went to the place I played indoor in Costa Mesa, they they underestimate me. They're like, oh, she's a girl. Like, it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
And
so they're not like botting you up. They're not like playing as rough in the beginning.
No. Okay. But then when they see me play, I think they start to respect me, which makes it easier for me to play.
Right. And then they start turning up the dial on how strong they play against you and all that. Okay. Are there any guys that are like taking it over the top, like a little too much? Come on, bro. What I mean? This is just like pickup. But then they're like trying to, relive their high school dreams and saying they took down a Mexican national.
Yeah, that happens.
I stopped doing that. I don't do that anymore. But okay, so what? That's happened though. Like there's guys out there that are taking it to an unnecessary level.
They get mad because like there's this one guy who I megged him twice in a row and playing.
You want to throw his name out there?
I don't even know his name, but he got mad and kind of just pushed me from behind. And but I mean, I'm used to it.
Okay, you don't even know his name, right?
I don't even know his name. Yeah.
It's like that one video where have you seen it? Where Zlatan and this other player were getting into it. I think it was either Champions League or it might have been League One in the French league, right? And then they're going at it, right? Like verbally, and then Zlatan looked at his, turned to look at his jersey to see who he is. You know what I mean? Because he doesn't know him who he is. But then the funny thing is looked at did the same thing to Zlatan, and then Zlatan started laughing. It was pretty funny.
He's an awesome player.
Yeah, he's good. Okay, so then actually, you came on our radar because of footballer.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And we saw you on social media and through the, the campaign and whatnot. So what's your connection with that, with footballer? And is that something like the modeling? And is that something that you're looking more into?
Yeah, it is. I mean, I know the owners, and one of the owners played soccer with my brothers, and when they first started, they reached out to me and they were just like, hey, like, would you like to model some clothes for us? And I was like, yeah, sure, so that's how it started. And then when I kind of asked them, I was like, what's your mission? Like I like to associate myself with people that value the same things as me. And it was
said selling clothes, making money? Or, no?
No, they, I mean, I like that they are, part of their mission is to donate money to organizations that are willing to help like less fortunate people with the beautiful game, and I absolutely love that. Right,
because like on they do like 10% of the proceeds, right, go to like nonprofit and helping worthy causes, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So then when you did like the photo, that was like in Huntington Beach, or where was that at? It was at a beach, right?
The first, we did a few, yeah.
Okay.
One was.
You're like on the cover of their website, no?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Oh yeah, that one is on the beach. Newport Beach. Newport Beach. I was like, where was that?
Okay. Yeah. So on the website, right? Footballer, right?
Newport Beach.
Yeah. Okay. So that was at Newport Beach. Mm-hmm. Okay. And then you've done other photo shoots with them, and so that's like, is that something that you're like exploring, right?
Definitely. I think, especially because I mean, as a female soccer player, I've accepted it. I'm not going to get paid much money to solely play soccer. I wish I could, but that's not the reality of it. So.
There isn't huge money in the game, the female game, right?
So I know that, if I can do things to help promote myself in other ways through soccer, and if it's going to help me financially, absolutely. If it's going to help me become a better soccer player and be able to be more committed to the game, then I'm definitely open to it. Right.
Okay. So then, what do you think the next few years are? What are your goals for, like, let's say the next like 3 years? What are your plans?
The next 3 years, first goal is the 2019 World Cup.
Okay.
That's what I mean when I train every day. That's what I think about. I have a little board on my wall, a chalkboard, and that's my long-term goal. Okay. Short-term goals, long-term goals. Long-term is that. So.
Okay. So 2019, that's like number one, right?
Number one. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And then.
And then
who knows after that, right? That's like 95% of your life, right?
Yeah. That's like 95%. After that, the
all the other little goals like probably go towards that, right? Like fitness and health and training, right?
Yeah, all the smaller goals tie back to that. And then after that, the 2020 Olympics.
Okay. And then after that, are you thinking maybe like what are your outside interests then?
Outside interests, I think I love to coach soccer. I want to give back, and I see myself, being able to mentor young soccer players, male or female. I think a lot of young players lack role models, because I know I lacked a female soccer player role model when I was growing up, and I mean, if I can provide that for young players and help pave their way to play at a higher level, I definitely see myself doing that.
So then who did you kind of like look up to when you were growing up playing?
When I was growing up, Cristiano Ronaldo.
Okay.
I remember having a poster of him on my wall.
Sure.
And,
that's just because he was good looking though, right? I'm talking about like role models, not based on the fact that you're a fan of his, like, his
genuinely
physique.
Fan of him.
Okay. Yeah. As a player.
Yeah, as a player. Right. And Mia Hamm too.
Mia Hamm. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. She's one of the owners of LAFC, right?
Really?
Yeah.
No, I know. Yeah.
Okay. So now we're shifting a little bit, right? Right? Yeah. She's one of the owners of LAFC. And obviously a huge supporter of women's soccer as well, right? Yeah. I think every girl player growing up, right, in your era, right, is probably a huge, like, Mia Hamm, right?
Definitely.
Yeah. Okay. So then we have the 2019, right, the 2020, right, Olympics and World Cup, right? And then after that, coaching, right, is something that you're continuing to look into, right? Do you have any kind of like, what are, outside of like soccer, what are your like other like kind of hobbies you have that you're into? Are you into like, clothing, fashion, that kind of thing? Or
fitness.
Fitness.
I absolutely love fitness.
Are you like a CrossFit girl?
No.
Okay.
So I wouldn't say CrossFit, just fitness in general.
Okay.
I've done some personal training before, and I really value living a healthy lifestyle.
Yeah, I know. I saw your Instagram. You got like 6-pack. Every third picture is like a 6-pack, right? Yeah, are you like a vegan? Is that like
no,
you're not a vegan?
I eat a lot.
You do eat a
yeah,
lot. I
people
can
are
tell.
like, people are like, do you eat carbs? I'm like, I eat a lot of carbs.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you eat meat, carbs,
Oh
all
yeah,
that.
I eat everything.
Okay.
I don't have any restrictions when I eat. I just usually follow like a 70-30 health diet. So 70% is healthy, 30% is.
Okay. I was like nodding like I knew that. I was like, yeah, 70% like meat to I like had no. Okay, so 70% just like healthy, and then 30% kind of just like you don't restrict yourself.
Yeah, I
and
don't
just
restrict myself.
Okay.
Yeah. And it works well for me.
Right. We're like more like 30-70. But, you know what I mean? Like the average person, right? That's the key, right?
I used to do that. I wasn't as fast as I am now. So.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So then, before we sign off, I would say, how do you want people to know you and recognize you, right? Like, what do you think about your, I don't know, personal ethos, or let's say, what are you known for being on the soccer field? Then, like, how do you think you separate yourself from an average player?
I think one of my teammates once told me, she's like, you're so just patient, and she's like, it seems like you don't even panic. There could be 3 players coming at you, and you're like not freaking out. Like in my head, I might be.
Yeah.
I was like, but I think.
So you're a real patient, methodical player?
Yeah, I like to just keep my composure.
Okay.
And,
so you're a calm player?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. That's huge for like center, mid, and especially center back, huh? Last thing you want is a center back is all freaking out and panicking all over the place, right? It makes everyone else nervous, right?
You can't do that.
Okay.
But I think most importantly is just I'm myself on the field. I'm fully myself. Whether I'm on the field or having dinner with my teammates and I think I really value that as a person. Right. And I hope other people value that too, not just in myself, but in themselves. Awesome.
Okay. So Janelly Farias, follow her journey 2019, 2020, and we wish you the best of luck. Thank you for joining us on Urban Pitch Podcast, the beautiful game of life. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.